Hello, everyone. Welcome to Off the Charts, episode 466. My name is Dan, and I shall be your host today. But once again, for this series, I have myself yet another co host, all the way from down under. My good friend Peter Kerr. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, my friend?
I am from Sydney, Australia. Rock Daydream Nation. Been doing YouTube for about 5 years. I think I just got 1 million views. Hit the million last week, and yeah, just I just do rock interviews and shows, and just celebrate all things rock. So yeah, I really appreciate the opportunity being on this show. Dan,
Perfect.
watched your show from afar, so thank you.
No, I think I'm on my fifth year also, and this is our first time working together. We've just realized.
Just it's just passing ships in the night, but
Yeah,
it's all good. We're together. That's
there you
great.
go. All right. So, once again, for this series, Peter will be giving us his top 10 hair metal studio album opening tracks. And before we start off, I'm going to reiterate the rules in case this is your first time chiming in for this series. Must be a release between 1980 and 1999. Intro songs longer than 1 minute count as a song. Intro songs shorter than 1 minute do not count. It'll default to the following song. 70s bands qualify if they released a hair metal album. No compilations, no live albums, and of course, EPs and LPs are allowed. Are we good, my friend?
We are excellent.
All right. So once
Absolutely.
for this series, I get to relax and chime in from time to time. So, my friend Peter, why don't you dazzle me?
Well, okay. Well, I'm not going to put this in any order.
Okay.
I had a chat with Dan at the start of the show. It's just impossible to rank the top 10 because there are just so many great songs, great opening tracks. So these are ones that I just really, really enjoy, and I just want to share it with everyone. Um, this first band, I think, is one of the most influential glam hair, if you want to call them hair metal bands of all time, and they are Hanoi Rocks. And this is
Wow.
off the album Two Steps from the Move from 1984, and it's Up Around the Bend. So this is a John Fogerty song from Creedence Clearwater Revival, where the original Fogerty song was very leisurely, and through the prism of Hanoi Rocks, they turn it into something that's edgy, dangerous, and it's like a party song.
Yeah.
So they've really completely changed the personality. It's like an invitation to a party. But one thing I love about Hanoi Rocks, there's a humor about them, and a lot of glam metal and hair metal treats it very seriously.
Mhm.
But the thing I like about Hanoi Rocks is this humor and this vibrancy, and having just having a fun time. It's got a lot of groove. It's loose, and feels completely infectious. And boy, if it wasn't Hanoi Rocks, you wouldn't have Guns N' Roses, you wouldn't have Skid Row.
Mhm.
I could just go on. They are so influential. And if it wasn't for tragedy, and we won't go into there because it's
Yeah.
all on YouTube, I think they would have been huge, Dan. Seriously, they were on the cusp of something big.
Yeah.
Folks, do yourself a favor, check out this album. This is one of their best. Two Steps from the Mood, 1984. Are you a fan of Hanoi Rocks?
I was just gonna chime in for that. Um, would you believe? Not until about a year ago, I now have the first five albums. I had this digital greatest hits, but you know what? Hanoi Rocks to me is not a greatest hits band. It's you have to experience the album as a full, and that album right there, Peter, is friggin' awesome. I would even argue that the first two songs are one of the better one-two punch. That high school song there right after, oh my god, that is even better. If I
I
and
love
that
it.
cover and that cover of that CCR or John Fogerty, I was like,
Mm.
I know this. I'm like, it was like a hint. I'm like, wait a minute, that's a cover. Excellent cover, excellent choice. And you're the first one to put Hanoi Rocks on this series. So, ha- hats off to you.
No, look, yeah, they've got to be celebrated, and you know, Munro's still at it, and
Yeah,
they're on my wish list to see. I'd love to see Munro. He never gets down to these parts, but
yeah.
they're one of the
Here
great
neither.
glam bands.
Awesome
Absolutely.
choice, my friend. Awesome choice. I love it.
All right. Well, we're still in Scandinavia. Why don't we talk about Denmark's greatest export? And I'm not talking about you, King Diamond, because this is not the right show for you. We're talking about Disneyland After Dark,
Wow.
DAD, Sleeping My Day Away. So um, this has got a hooky guitar riff. I think it's part AC/DC meets spaghetti western. It's got that wonderful Morricone type of guitar sound. It's got a driving groove, um, full of swagger and personality. And look, they're not that well known in America. They had a little bit of traction in the lower part of the Billboard Top 100. They did a tour with Badlands. But strangely enough, they had a bit of a following in Australia. And
Oh, really?
I think why we like them is because the guitar sounds very similar to AC/DC or Angels from Angel City, that
Ah,
really
gotcha.
chugga spiky guitar. But yeah, I've always liked Sleeping My Day Away, and I think this is a really strong track. Are you familiar with DAD?
Of course. I'm
Yeah.
so familiar with them, Peter. I have the Disneyland After Dark version of the on vinyl.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah.
That's the only album. It was a minor hit here in Canada. That one song,
Yep.
Sleeping My Day Away. And you're actually the second person. It hasn't aired yet. It's only recorded, but you're the second person to mention
Right.
that band. And I'm gonna say the same story as I don't know if you're familiar with Alex Ploitation from
Very much so. I recorded something with him today.
okay,
Love the Alex. Yeah.
small
Love the
world,
Alex.
huh?
So
He,
we all cross pollinate
yeah,
in this
he
world.
chose that. He chose that one, and I'll say the same story. I don't know if you're familiar with the Swedish band Thunder Mother. On their last album, they have one song, and I was like, my God, they actually went and borrowed or tributed the guitar sound of Sleeping My Day Away, kind of like a twangy Western sound of guitar. And I asked the girls, I'm like, was that on purpose? And they were like, yeah, that was actually on purpose for to resemble DAD or Disneyland After Dark. So there you go.
Absolutely. I interviewed Jacob Binzer last
Oh,
year, and he's a quirky guy. He was actually doing the interview with his mobile phone while walking through a park in Copenhagen. And he goes, "If you could see what I see, you'd be very happy." And then he'd just do the interview while he's doing this power walk. It was just quirky as hell. But they're prolific. They're huge in Denmark,
oh yeah,
and they've done about 15 albums,
I
and
know,
they
I
did it.
know.
Yeah,
And
so
Canada probably
definitely.
knows too, which is that one, and maybe Risking It All.
Well,
But I'm
that's
gonna
why
actually,
these shows celebrate it. Yeah.
yeah, a question for you. That cell phone that he was talking to you on from the interview, was that by any chance the bass player's bass guitar? If you know, you know. Have you ever
Yeah,
seen that
yeah.
bass guitars? A
Ah,
bass player's
Stig.
bass guitars.
He is he's always invented
Oh,
something or other. Some of the crazy bass guitars that he's invented, and
the Rocket,
yeah.
the the
Jacob was
olive on a
saying,
pick. Oh, that was new. I saw that when was talking
uh,
with Alex.
Jacob was saying is when there's band shenanigans, he's always around
Oh
it.
my God.
It's all Stig. So yeah, no,
Good choice.
fantastic.
All right.
All right. I'm going to go to a band that I think needs to have a little bit of a shout out and a bit more praise. They're very underrated. And this album came out in '84, and the band is Autograph.
Ooh.
Send Her to Me. So everyone knows about Turn Up the Radio, but I think this is a seriously underrated glam metal band. They had a gifted songwriter in Steve Plunkett, and they had a guitar hero in Steve Lynch that doesn't get the kudos,
Mm.
Dan. He was a finger tapping pioneer. He was right at the same time as Eddie Van Halen,
Yeah.
but he doesn't get the accolades. Um, Turn Up the Radio is just pop brilliance. I say pop because it is pop, but with hard rock or edge. There's a lot of things that I don't think work for them. They had a crappy label. RCA didn't know how to market heavy metal or glam metal or hard rock. Their videos are kind of goofy. Their image was a little bit goofy. Like you look at the drummer Kenny Richards, you know, some of the antics.
He was annoying. You're right. You're right.
A little bit annoying. And they had a support slot to Van Halen 1984, and people would say, "Well, that's fantastic." Well, I think they were treated really badly with Van Halen. In fact, they were sabotaged, and you know, I think that really set them on the skids. Because, you know, when they were playing, they were given like 30% of the stage. The house lights were on. Everything that Van Halen could do to autograph as the support slot to make them look better, they actually did. So they used them as a punching bag. So I think everything that was just not falling into, the planets weren't aligning. But this album is just got so many tasty melodies and hooks and lyrics. Like My Girlfriend's Boyfriend Isn't Me. It's just really, really witty lyrics, and I just think they're so underrated. I've got this, I maybe it's me, but I always kind of thought that they were reminded me of the Cars, but like a hair metal version of the Cars, slightly goofy, but really good songwriting. But Send Her to Me is the song I'm going to pick. Do you like Autograph?
I've got them all. Like when I say I've got them all, I've even got the later stuff. I've met them once here. But I didn't put that one. I actually put Loud and Clear.
Right.
As a great opener. But again, you're right. It was all about that first album. The second album, I knew about it, but I never saw any videos. And the third one, Loud and Clear, like it wasn't until probably like 1990, 92. I was like, oh, they had a third album? Like the same thing with Twisted Sisters, Love Is for Suckers. I did not even know that existed when it came out. But yeah, great band. And then they came back. I even have Buzz. I even have Louder and Get Off Your Ass, and the last one, which I only have digitally there. But that started the problem of having two versions of the band there, or sort of there. But
yeah. I'd love to interview Plunkett. I think he'd be a really interesting interviewee, and he'd have lots of stories. But he's got the songwriting chops. But I just don't think the image was everything that just drowned them, and the goofiness. And people just don't realize that the songs were actually Trojan horses. They're really, really hooky and quite memorable.
See, they're like, he had all his life to write his first album, and the second one was really, really rushed, like almost a little bit like Dancing Undercover by Wrath. It was that fast, apparently. And you look at the song, you're like, I actually like Sign and Please. Not Sign and Please. That's the Stuff. Sorry.
Yeah.
But anyway, you could say they got better, or they got worse, or they stayed the same. I think they stayed basically the same there. There's about X amount of same songs that I love per each album.
Yeah. Look, I'll say it again, Dan. RCA was a terrible label for metal, and if they were on a Geffen or a Warner's, they would have sold more units. Yeah, they're on the wrong label. I mean, they could have, at least they weren't on MCA, which was the absolute pits, the Music Crematorium of America. But
But you want to know something interesting for that band? They're not even featured in those Martin Popoff books. That part I don't know why. The heavy metal, the Collector's Guide to Heavy Metal. I'm like, what? Autograph? Why is Autograph not there? I don't know.
Yeah,
I should ask him one day, but I keep forgetting.
One more little bit of trivia. I went with my wife we were in America about 15 years ago. We went to the Rainbow Bar and Grill. And on the jukebox, we went in and sign in, turn up the radio was played, and people were dancing. So it still gets played in America.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that song.
It's a bigger hit now, I think, than it was at the time. It was a very minor hit at the time, but yeah.
Yep.
It's
absolutely.
People know that song here too. Yeah. Good choice.
Alrighty. My next one, I've got to go for Rat. I'm going to go You're in Love. I think, it's a cracker of an opening track. It's hooky, lots of punch, well arranged, memorable. And when you look at glam metal or hair metal, I think DeMartini and Crosby were like the Keith Richards and Mick Taylor of glam metal. What a duo.
Yeah.
Piercy's vocals have that sort of that necessary menace. I'm actually a bit of a contrarian. I prefer this album to Out of the Cellar. I think just pound for pound, I think the songs are more memorable slightly. And I think,
Me too.
yeah,
Me too.
yeah, yeah. I just think they really refined the production. Like Beau Hill's production is just spick. It's just right for the times. The arrangements are great, and I just think You're in Love is everything that you need. It just punches out of
Oh
the
yeah.
speakers.
That song was what started it off for me. But it wasn't like until an
Yeah,
81, 91 compilation. And I heard that
yeah,
song on I was like, what is that? That is so good. But to me, Lay It Down is probably the penultimate hair metal track ever made. It's got everything.
right.
I still love You're in Love, don't get me wrong there. But I'm just saying, in hair metal, I think Lay It Down is my opinion, the most perfect hair metal track ever made.
Yeah, I still think Round and Round is probably one of maybe their best song ever. It's kind of perfect. But as an album, I think this one probably just,
Oh yeah.
pips it a little bit. And look, again, they should have been much bigger. They were kind of pound per pound. They were really going at it with Motley Crue. But after this album, it was sort of diminishing returns,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
A little bit their own fault. I'm if you like they're that was a wreck. But anyway, what band wasn't almost at the time?
Yeah, absolutely. All right. If I don't talk about this band, then I would be fooling myself. I've got to talk about 1987 and Whitesnake and Crying in the Rain. Now, I'm referring to I think this is the UK
Yeah.
version. Yep. So this is Diamond Certification, probably John Sykes, David Coverdale's piece, De La Resistance.
Oh yeah.
And when I followed Whitesnake right from the early days, and when you heard this, it wasn't certainly that's not Bernie Marsden or Mick Moody. This is not a bluesy album. This
Oh
is
no,
just
no, no.
comes out of the speakers like at a velocity of the speed of light. I don't think John Sykes has played any better than on this album, and still gets played on radio to this very day, Dan. So it worked, and it was recorded on the Geffen label, and
Oh yeah.
they had
Oh yeah.
the full machinery
Oh my God.
behind it.
Was that ever huge at the time? But you know what? So I didn't put it, and I'll tell you why. I think Crying in the Rain is great. But my buddy wrote in the comments, and he did an episode himself, goes, oh, I've got the European version. So I don't know if you know where I'm going with this. He goes, I'm putting Still of the Night as my, and I'm like, what? And I'm like, apparently there's a different track listing for, you've got the North American, I'll assume there. Yeah.
Yes.
And I was like, oh my God. So you actually went and used a loophole. Well, technically. So he has the European version, and I've got the same version that you do. And Still of the Night was his choice, and I find that to be even much more of a banger type opener. But Crying in the Rain is also very great, also. But I just found that
Absolutely.
I did not realize about that different track listing until I'm like, yeah, you're right. So
Yeah, and the way that John Sykes he does that middle guitar lead breakdown, it just brings a shiver up my spine.
oh
It's
yeah,
like
oh yeah.
he's like on the leash and okay, go, and he's just going for it. Um, I tell you what, it was just like the relationship was like it was brief, it was intense between those two because they were two bulls, two alpha males, and they were
Mhm.
never. It was never going to last, but it was passionate and it was lightning in a bottle. And I don't think this band was ever the same after him. I mean, there were moments,
Yeah.
and I really like Whitesnake. One of my favorite bands of all time, but I think this was the last hint where they were really at the peak of popularity. They were one of the biggest bands in the world.
Oh yeah, I
Folks.
remember that. That was in high
87.
school.
Seriously.
And that those Tawny Katane videos were like showing one video every month or something, the different song. I was like, wow. So, but
That's still the night song. I never get sick of it.
oh,
I can watch that video. I can watch that video and repeat.
yeah, that is what you call like I talked with my friend about it when he did his episode. I go, it's a perfect song without a wasted note or moment in the song. Basically, it's
a game changer.
Yeah.
A lot of folks were saying in Rainbow Bar and Grill they heard that for the first time, and the world changed. It was that. It took that Zeppelin. I mean, everyone loves Zeppelin, but they flaunted it, put it right to the forefront. And
good choice. Good choice.
Alrighty. As I said, it's a mixed bag, commercial.
Yeah.
I'm also going to talk about Motley Crue, Dr. Feelgood. Now, they get caned a lot, Dan, but I think Dr. Feelgood is one of their greatest songs because I think Bob Rock actually got the band sounding right. I like a lot of their old stuff. I think Shout of the Devil is probably arguably their best album, or their first album is their best album, but it's kind of raw, garagey.
Yeah.
But sonically, this song is probably the best that you would ever get Motley Crue to sound. You had Tommy Lee and those bombastic, thundering drums. You had Vince Neil, who was not, I mean, his singing was always a little bit helium, a little bit thin, but it sounds quite thick in the mix, and it's a bit more restrained. So instead of him doing in the higher range falsetto, he's actually singing within his vocal range, and the song's really, really good. It tells a story. So they're actually, I don't know whether they're competing with Guns N' Roses when Appetite came out. I don't. Maybe I'm getting the chronological order wrong, but whatever was happening in hard rock at that time was, let's get a bit more grittier. Let's not talk about sex and drugs. Let's talk about what's around us. And they tell a story about a drug runner. It's like a little movie. It's like a Scarface, and it's just got a lot of edge. Mick Mars's guitar sounds great. I think it's one of their best songs. But sad today, they're a bit of a tabloid type thing.
Oh, yeah.
They're probably well known more about their wives and their habits than their music, mate. But that song, I think people forget, that was actually a bit of a banger.
You know what I just made me think of is like Dr. Feelgood and Still of the Night kind of have the same beefiness to it. Just 2 years later, if I remember correctly, 87 and 89.
Yeah.
But it has the same beefiness, bottom end, crunchy guitars.
Yeah.
But you know what? And I'm going to say this again. When I first saw that song, Dr. Feelgood, the morning after in high school, everybody was like, "Did you see the new Motley Crue song last night?" That was the talk, not the toast of the town, but the talk of the town.
Yeah, it's sort of like they toughened up. But do you agree with me that Vince Neil's never sounded better? I don't know. It's just had him at the right level. It's sort of
I would say yeah. I mean, I'm not a huge. Well, he did sound good at one time. I'm just gonna say that, but he sounded professional, and I remember him even in the Dr. Feelgood video cassette, how he was doing his vocal exercises and all that at the time. I think this was their first time they were sober and ever basically. So I think their career, they were kind of taking it seriously for the first time. So yeah, I'll agree with you.
Yeah, look, he's not one of my favorite vocalists, but I just think that Bob Rock just got it right.
Yeah.
I don't know, just got the mix right. But anyway, the much maligned Motley Crue has made my top 10 because I think a good song's a good song, Dan, and I'll tip my hat.
Yeah, good. It's a good one.
Include it. Um, let's talk about Winger.
Oh,
Can't get enough of
wow. All
their
right.
In Heart of the Young from 1990. I saw them on their Farewell Australia tour and last year, and live they're just there's something else. They are a virtuoso band, and I think that's why they cop a lot of flack. And I've always thought of them as the hair metal version of Toto, and I think our mutual friend Tim Derling has said that quite a few times. I just love this song. It's got big choruses. It's Red Beach's guitar playing. He's like the king of syncopated guitar riffs.
Mm-hmm.
And, you hear a little bit of, hysteria because everything was very lined up with what was happening with that album. But it's still tight, punchy, and it's got vocal harmonies that are second to none. So there they are, looking very serious. And that's probably one of the reasons why they probably copped a bit of flack. Maybe they were just too serious, because I really think this is a hair metal band that thought of themselves as virtuosos, as really good musicians and very serious. And maybe that's why they copped a bit of flack. That's just my take on
Well,
it. But
so Winger is in my top 5 bands ever. Okay, so I love Winger. I have everything they've ever done. I saw them on that tour with Kiss and Slaughter, and I'll admit that can't. I love the first albums. I was super excited for hearing "Can't Get Enough." That one took me a while. I love it now, but it wasn't until that little bridge, with the keyboard, "Can't get enough of you." It wasn't until that part got, because the rest is just very generic, bump 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 bump. Because it was they said it was an inspired song versus something like "Rainbow and the Rose." But I was teased a lot for loving Winger that much. I was made fun of, and like being and we all know how Kip Winger is great, like a great composer, but "Can't Get Enough" and 17 did not help them to a point. Just a one note "Can you bump 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 bump." That's what my friends made fun of me for liking that. But now they know, like, there's something. It's not, to me, they were misrepresented with all the singles, if you ask me. There 17 is not Winger. Like, well, it is, but it's not just that. Same thing with "Can't Get Enough" when you have "Rainbow and the Rose," and I don't know what else. I forget what else they have there, but it's a very misunderstood band, very teased for the wrong reasons when there was a lot worse happening. It was, let's just pick on someone, picking those guys. And I never heard the end of it. Like, I was a very bitter person against Metallica, against Beavis and Butthead at the time. I was like, I wanted nothing to do with those two entities at all. So it's I've got a lot to say with Winger there, but yeah, that's
I get it. I think as a 59-year-old, showing my age, I
54.
think I understand Winger now more than I did when I was a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're a band that gets better with age, and I
Oh yeah.
think with maturity, you understand the virtuosity, the arrangements. Like even something like that song 17. Listen to the guitar lead break of Red Beach, the syncopation, the different
Yes.
rhythms, the polyrhythms. It is incredibly complex. The arrangements on some of these songs. One of the things that why I picked that song is that, yes, you think it's a really conventional Def Leppard song, the boom boom, but then it takes a left turn,
Yeah.
and it gets kind of almost proggy, and it goes in a direction that you don't expect that. And that's what I like about a song, because there are some songs that you can hear on the radio, whether it's pop, rock, or whatnot, and it's going to go from point A to point B. This song, you don't know. It takes a left turn, Clyde, and I love that. Oh, that's a reference to a Clint Eastwood movie, if you know. But Left Turn, Clyde. But I love it. I think, yeah.
I bravo.
What's your favorite album? Of theirs.
You know what? I was asked that and it depends on the week you ask me. I mean, Pull, I love. I also love Seven. It depends on my mood. Like when I say that I love Winger, Peter,
Mm,
I'm not kidding. I'm probably the only one that thinks that Four is probably one of their finer moments. Um, I can't even answer that question properly because it changes every week. I mean, the easy answer for
mm,
me would be Pull, but it took me a
mm.
while to love that one. Took me
Yeah.
a while.
I think they might be a band that was, they came out at the wrong time. If
A
they
little bit,
came
yeah.
out, so you had all those AOR bands, like Styx, Foreigner, Toto, where they were just before the MTV. Before that, bands like Def Leppard took off. If they put an album like that in, say, 83 or 84, I think they would have been mega platinum. That's just my theory. Maybe just not at the right time. I don't know.
That's what I think Reb says. He goes, I'd be a millionaire if that first album came out 2 or 3 years before. So,
Yeah, who knows? All right. Another band that I'm going to champion that were part of, associated with the new wave of British heavy metal,
oh,
a Scottish band. And I'll put this in the category of hair metal because this was their calling card for arena rock. And it's a band called Heavy Pittin'.
wow.
And rock ain't dead. So this is part new wave of British heavy metal with a American arena crunch. Um, I love Stephen Hammy Heyman's vocals. He always reminds me a bit like Biff Byford from Saxon. It's got that really sharp cut through. This song has, catchy choruses, polished production and melody, and I love the twing axe attack between Gordon Bonner and Punky Mendoza. So this album is chock full of great songs. I actually did a show with the great Steve Deluxe a couple of years ago on Rock Daydream Nation
Oh, I
where we
remember.
talked about Heavy Pittin'. Check it out. But I think this is a band that needs to be lauded, and they're kind of forgotten. But they were bridging two eras: the new wave of British heavy metal, and then going into that sort of glam hair metal
They
phase.
really went the Def Leppard route. Um,
Yes.
I have Rock Generation, like their last one, also very good too. You know one thing that annoys me about that band is actually the singer's voice. It's a little too nasally, I find at times, but
Yeah.
musically, it like I prefer the first album than like that's an argument, a fun argument I have with Steve Deluxe all the time there. But I was like, Steve,
Mm,
I actually prefer the first album. And he goes, no, I prefer the second album. I'm like, all right, that's that, which is fine. But yeah, that
yeah.
voice kind of just gets to me, but it doesn't annoy me as
Oh,
much on the first album.
yeah. No, I like that voice. Isn't it funny that some voices are like,
Yeah,
on a blackboard, and some are like,
but
I
on
like
that,
it.
but it's
I don't
on
know. I've
that
always liked
album.
it.
Like the first album, it doesn't bug me.
Yeah.
On that one, it does. That's yeah.
Yeah. Oh well. Oh, this is gonna. This is where the internet blows up. I'll just slowly put it up.
Oh my God.
Oh my god. I did an episode on the Contrarians when I was in that fold, and the premise of the show is Vinnie Vincent, genius or not? And I argued, oh, it's just like high school debating. I just chose yes, he's a genius, and it got a lot of clicks. But the guy's got talent, but he's just whack.
Oh yeah, he's a good
And
songwriter for sure.
yeah,
I think
um,
so.
Boys Wanna Rock. Come on, it is so over the top. It is genius. I love it. And whether his guitar bits were sped up in production, I don't know. But everything about this album is just turned up to 20 on the loudspeakers. It's kind of insane, and that's what I like about it. It's bombastic. It's it's just over the top. There's not much more I can say about it. Over to you. Say something. I'm just
Okay, you know what?
peddling cliches.
No. I make fun of Vinnie Vincent. I mean, who doesn't? By the way, you got $2 million to spare, but if you know, you know, right? But you just made me realize that I'm actually glad you did this. Put Heavy Pettin at the same and just before Vinnie Vincent. Again, that voice for I'm not a fan. I'm a fan of Mark Slaughter's version.
You don't like Fleischman. I like
Fleischman,
Fleischman, but
yeah,
I don't like Slaughter. That's the thing.
that's weird. Ah, okay. I
Yeah.
mean, which is fine, guys.
Mm,
It's like if we all had the same tastes, we wouldn't be having
mm,
all these different episodes and channels, right? But
yeah.
yeah, Fleischman kind of reminds me of that Heavy Pettin singer. It's a little nasally, and sure,
Mm.
his picture in the back of the album does not help either. And but I mean, I'm slowly, yeah, he looks more like he should be in I don't know Simple Minds than Vinnie Vincent Invasion. But
Don't you forget about me.
yeah, but I'm slowly, Peter. I'm starting to appreciate. Like I used to, it was one of my running jokes there. I'm slowly, and I'll thank Trevor and Steve Deluxe there for kind of like they're because they're really they really love. Well, Steve, we all know why his channel what his channel is named after, but yeah, it took me a long while to appreciate it, and it is over the top. And the
Yeah. Look,
video, oh my God, that makes it even more over the top.
yeah. Well, it confused the heck out of a lot of people because
Hmm.
the video came out with a different lead singer, and it doesn't, he's miming to Fleischman.
Yeah.
So that sort of look, I just think it's just I keep on saying the same word over the top. I'll look up other adjectives in my Roget's thesaurus, but
How
I
about
think he
outrageous? Outrageous.
outrageous. But I think he is a very talented songwriter. Look at the work he did in Kiss, and
Yeah.
I really will defend that he did save Kiss from the brink with some of those songs.
Yeah.
Like,
He's a
yeah,
good songwriter. I've always said it. A good
but
songwriter.
but there are he is a flawed human being. He is a flawed
Oh yeah.
as a whole package. He has so many flaws, and that has prevented him from being the superstar that he thinks
Yeah.
he is. And that's where it kind of lies. There's a lot of hubris, and
Speaking of,
yeah.
he did put an update today on Facebook saying, "I'm working on." I mean, it's the same update
Oh,
all the
forget
time
it.
there, but he had one today.
Put mu-
Just FYI.
put the music out, mate.
Yeah.
Just yeah, just put the music out. All right. One strong personality to another. Blackie,
Wow.
Last Command, Wild Child. I love that song. Again, this is another album that I seem to gravitate more to than the first. Now, I think the first is a better album, but if I go to the cabinet and pick out a Wasp album, I always put on The Last Command
Oh,
because
really? Okay.
I like the Sonics. To me, I describe this as American Gothic. It's Texas desert Gothic. You hear a lot of the sounds of the desert. You hear rattlesnakes. You hear cowboy themes. To me, if you close your eyes, you imagine that they're playing in some bar in the middle of El Paso. I don't know. It's got the smells, the sounds of
Or Devil's Gulch.
Americana. Yeah, I love it. I love it. But Wild Child, you know, there's just so much going on. And I remember reading Hit Parader and Blackie Lawless, and it's really funny. Whenever a heavy metaler wants to make a profound statement about their album, they go, "This is our Sergeant Pepper's." you know, so he was making reference to all the work that they done because you can hear it's just they use up every single track of the 32 track
Wow. Okay.
of this. There's so many sounds, so many instrumentation. It's really Blackie solo, but you've got a lot of the other guys coming in and I guess contributing and being the face of the band. But I've always liked Wild Child. I think that was
Nice.
one of his best songs, and I think this was originally. I've heard rumors that this was originally workshopped or demoed in the days of when he was in London with Nikki
Oh,
Sixx.
was it? I
Remember
don't,
that?
that part I don't know.
Yeah, you know that band that everyone's been in. It's been like a
That everyone's been in except that one guy who can't seem to get out of it.
yes, but
I I am
yeah.
not a fan of that logo though on the front cover.
Oh yeah.
I would have put that
Oh right.
in the back. There's the one with the circular saw.
Yep.
I would have put that on the front.
Yep.
It looks like a very like New Times Roman type of let's oh shit, we forgot to put the word wasp on the cover. That's yeah. But that's being very
Yeah,
picky.
absolutely. Are you a Wasp fan, Dan?
Yeah, I've got them all.
Yeah.
I've got them all.
What's your
They're
high
actually
point? What's your high point
for
album?
me it's the Headless Children is to me that's
Yeah.
perfection right there. They're coming to town actually in October.
Yeah, nice.
I'm
Nice.
iffy. I'm iffy because he, you know, the little boy who cried wolf. I've said this story, but you have never heard it. There, we had tickets to go see Iron Maiden, Dio, Wasp, and Dirty Deeds. I think Wasp never showed up. All right, Wasp, we're coming to my town here, and it's actually mentioned in Martin Popoff's book about the mic situation. That is because it happened on our town where people had tickets. He refused to go on stage because his mic would not. His mic was too heavy for the stage. You know which one I'm talking about? The motorcycle one there that moves there.
Yeah.
I'm like,
The
really?
the mic stand.
Your career is about a mic stand now. So that was second
Yeah.
time. Third time, I had tickets for his current tour, the 40th anniversary, and this one was acceptable because that's when he needed to fix his discs there in the back. So now he's coming back again. So I'm like, do I actually even bother? But
Yeah.
he's coming
I
KK's Priest. So
Oh, okay.
yeah,
That'd be a good lineup.
yeah,
That'd be a good lineup. But yeah, look, he's another one who's a difficult, prickly type of character, and that's probably in head. And there's been too many lineup changes,
yes,
and that's probably sort of restricted their career. But an interesting guy. I mean, he was, he started off in the tail end of the New York Dolls, and I think he's got so many interesting stories. So
oh
he's
yeah,
right back. He's a pioneer of hair metal and the glam scene in the LA because he goes back to the 70s, and
yeah. No,
he's
I'm a
always
big
good.
fan there.
Always good for a quote.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. His answers are long.
Yeah.
He was on the Power Hour here, which is like the MTV's Headbangers Ball, and the girl asked him a question. This was back in the Crimson Idol days, and he just answered a question, and the girl was like, "Okay," like she was like almost zoned out there. It was such a long answer, and I was like, "Wow, my God!" Like you almost took up the whole show. I'm joking there, but it was a long answer. So
Yeah. But I mean, and they were managed by Rod Smallwood from Iron Maiden. So
mhm.
they had a lot of heat in that first album.
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
So I just, maybe The Last Command was a bit of a drop off. They just needed that killer single in that second album, and they would have gone a lot bigger.
yeah,
But wasn't to be.
yeah. No, good choice. I like that one.
There you have it.
All right. Excellent, my friend. You know
Thank
what?
you.
So I'll tell you, because I don't know if it was before. I was expecting some angels or
Oh,
angels
okay.
because you're from Australia, or even Ashley. I don't know if you know Ashley Geisler there.
Yes, I do. Yes.
He put on Roxas, and it's apparently it's only in Australia that these guys are popular. I've never even heard of these guys until Steve mentioned them. So, not that I was expecting you to put them. I don't know your taste as well there, but yeah, those because I knew you're a big Angels fan, but that's kind of like on the
Oh, I am. But no. Yeah, I don't think I would have put them in hair metal, but anyway, everyone's
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Well, again, folks, let us know in the comments what you think of Peter's 10 hair metal opening tracks. And if you haven't done so already, let us know in the comments what your own top 10 is. But yeah, good choices, my friend. Good stories.
Thank you.
Great choices.
Thank you.
And thank you for adding Winger. I love that. I'll defend those guys till I die. But all right. Well, for one, it's been a pleasure finally meeting you or doing an episode, us two together. And let's not make it the last. And
Absolutely.
from the bottom of my heart, thank you for doing this, accepting this here. And don't forget to go check out. I'm going to put the links on the bottom below here. Go check out Rock Daydream Nation with Peter Kerr. Very popular channel here. So go check him out. And he's got some good stuff. Anything you want to plug before we...
Maybe an interview with Carmine Appice coming soon.
Oh.
Maybe.
Oh.
Carmine Appice. Yeah, we'll see.
That don't even get me started. Two brothers who can't agree with their last name pronunciation, right?
Yeah.
I think he's
anyway.
And because I know it's Vinny Appice. So, however, the other...
I better get it right because I hear he gets quite sharp if you don't get it right the first time. Could be a very short interview,
Carmine Appice. I think it's Carmine Appice because I know how Dio introduces Vinny Appice on Live Evil. It's as in Vinny Appice. So I'm like, okay, so the other one must be Carmine Appice.
Maybe. Who knows? I'll find out.
Do not quote me on that. I would literally check it out first there. So
yeah, I'll just go hi. Yeah. I'll just go hello.
Hi, this Dan Chartrand guy says. Yeah.
Something like that.
All right. So thank you guys for watching. Have yourselves a great whatever. Don't forget to go check out Rock Daydream Nation. And if your heart does so, just click a like and subscribe. Tell your friends, hit the little thumbs up and little bell to be notified when I publish new content like this. So on that note, have yourselves a great whatever, and we shall see you guys next episode. Take care. Bye-bye.
See you later.